So welcome to our butterfly retreat, and the idea obviously come from this beautiful image of the butterfly and the journey that the butterfly takes. So this is like our study. You may hear something that I say and then you have no clue of what I'm going on about. And then as years pass, it unfolds, or months or weeks, and then you may hear it again, and then the idea of it is that it may resonate then. So if we think about a butterfly and how it starts as a caterpillar, and then it goes on this journey of going into like a cocoon. And I think that's kind of like where I'm feeling that that's our self-study of us looking inwards at ourselves. And then you eventually come out as this butterfly. So the idea of this particular book that we're going to be looking at over these next three workshops is called Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And the sutra means thread, that one leads to another, such as this butterfly's journey, because you can't have the butterfly without the caterpillar. It can't evolve without going through this process. And this is like what we're doing. The more we can't just read the book and then that's it, you know, or you can't just do the physical practice and then that's it. There has to be the whole of the 8 limbs, and it unfolds. One goes to another. So Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, and there's 4 chapters, and these are called Pada, and Pada means limb. And they say that Patanjali's had it like the cow, because it's a sacred. So there's the 4 limbs like in a cow. So each one goes through this, and you can't have one without the other, okay? So today we're looking at the first one, yeah? And this is called Atha Yoga Nushasanam. You can have it on your handouts, I think. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. And the part of that is the fact of that this Atha Yoga Nushasanam, the first word means now, okay? Now, the idea of that, the first word meaning now, is that it didn't matter what's happened yesterday, what's gonna happen in the future. Your journey of this unfolding, this butterfly effect, is starting today in this room. It doesn't matter what's gone on before. It doesn't matter if you've heard all of this before and it hasn't unfolded. Yeah, you're still a caterpillar. Yeah, you then, it means that he's giving a command. Patanjali's giving a command. We don't know who Patanjali is. We know he was a student of yoga. We know that he would have been a man. I'm sorry, but he would have been back in them days, about 500 BC. So we know it would have been a man studying, and we believe that he studied with many great scholars, and it would have been like you, taking notes from his teacher. The only difference is that we found his notes, which is this book. So the idea of this first sutra, so it's, some people don't like to say it, but the way that I'm going to say it, he is giving you a command. He's really giving you a command that it doesn't matter what went on before. You're going to start this change now. I've been studying this book for a good 16, 17 years. It's not going to happen overnight. And you can ponder each one, and each author has it in a different way. But there's 3 books that I've bought today which have really different takes on it, okay? So this one is a really modern version, okay? I'm going to leave them at the front. This is the one that I recommended to you guys, and then this is another one. Now, the Atha Yoga Nushasanam stays the same, but underneath that is each author's interpretation of it, because our minds can delve into it in a slightly different way, and we can ponder over it. So the words stay the same. Now the union starts, because yoga means union, to bring together. So what would you think if you're going through this change? What would you be bringing together?
In yourself or as a community?
What would you be bringing together? What are you bringing together today? If it starts today, what are you bringing together? So what about you're bringing together today your breath, your body, your mind, union. You're bringing it together. You're bringing it all together today. Because when you start yoga, you ever start yoga and then you you put out, I say, bring out your right arm and then stretch your left arm. Then you look to your left arm because it's like you left it at home. You don't know where it is. So you're bringing that connection. You're bringing that union together, that you know where you are in your own space. And then there's another thing that you're bringing together. You're bringing together this kind of intelligence thinking. Yeah? Intelligence, you're bringing that together as well. And an emotional intelligence. You're bringing all that together. So this is where the second one comes into it. So Citta Vritti Nirodhah. So Citta is mind stuff. Yeah? Vritti is the whirling of the mind. And then Nirodhah is like to cease. Yeah? So you're stopping, you're ceasing to keep identifying with the thoughts and the fluctuations of one's mind. You're ceasing to do that. So you're not keep going back to old habits. Yeah? You're going to stop going back to them. You're going to stop going into the same relationships because you're ceasing to identify with this whirling of your mind. And when you start to go into your cocoon because you want to change that, you're then going to start to reflect over, why do I keep doing the same thing over and over again and coming back to the same part? I'm not moving forward. So when you start to have a look at this emotional intelligence, you start to ask yourself, why do I keep making the same mistakes? Why do I keep meeting the same man or woman or person? Why do I keep going back and back and back and back and making them same things? And when you're reflecting on that and your self-study, self-inquiry, you go into like this tortoise. Some people could say it like that. We're using the butterfly, but you're kind of drawing your limbs in, you're drawing your senses in to reflect. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to go and sit on a mountain and do that. Yeah? Doesn't mean that you have to go on some expensive retreat to do that. You could learn to do it within seconds. Seconds. You know, you walk into the kitchen, my example, he looks like we've been burgled. Yeah? It's like, how does one man make a sandwich and it look like we've been burgled? Right? And I mean, and then to crown it off, he leaves the butter knife on the side that then I touch. Then I have butter on my hands because I didn't see that it is, and now I've got butter everywhere. Why not just put it in the sink? Now, in seconds, it's more effort to have a go than just go, is it worth it? So the idea of it is you can, in seconds, you can ask yourself the questions, you know, is it worth it? Is it harmful? Is it truthful? You know, within seconds. Yeah? Just for an example. I'm a very patient person. Yeah? But it's like, you know, you can start to things, you know, and have a look. That didn't happen overnight. My mum has an image of me at about 20 years old jumping over a wall in a jean miniskirt and punching someone in the face. It didn't happen overnight. I wasn't always this patient. When I reflect back at them times when I was that person, I was so sad. I had eating disorders. I wasn't well. I didn't have healthy relationships. You know, I wasn't making healthy decisions. Do you see? And when you're more grounder and you're more aware of your emotions and you have control over them emotions, you're a much more rounder, balanced person. So this sutra, the first two sutras, they say if you can stop identifying with the thoughts and fluctuations of your mind, or cease, you don't need to read the rest of the book. So the other thing is that when you look at yourself, to look at kind of the patterns you keep making, and then how can I recognize them? What do you think are some of the things that you could do? One, you're here. What are some of the things that you could do at meditation? Yeah? If you like, you could journal. As women in this room, you could mark the dates of your cycle, because does that affect some of you? Yeah. Huh? And the moon, there you go, you know, so you can do that. So one of the things I used to do, I used to go, before I erupted, I would look at the calendar and go, is it him, is it me? Oh no, it's me, it's that time. Yeah, but it's true. You know, why is everybody annoying me? You know, why is everyone really annoying me? And I'll have a look and it's my cycle. Again, like the caterpillar. It's a cycle, what you're going through. You're shredding. You need to have a look. You need to remove these layers that you're carrying. It's like when you all arrived here with all your bags, yeah? It's like an unfolding. You need to let that go. It's like you're carrying the weight of everything. And it's like, right, what do I need to do? I need to surround myself with good people. People that are going to uplift me. Another thing you can do. You know, there was another student, you know, she's not here, but you know, when I asked her a question, you know, when you know someone really well, I've asked difficult questions sometimes, but it might even be that if you have a good relationship with somebody, they can ask you difficult questions. Are you going through your menopause? You know, not all of you are at that age. But you know, it's like, you know, it can be, and that's a good friend as well that can ask, or a teacher will ask you these proper, you know, I've noticed this with you, you know, are you due on? Do you think you're going through your menopause? Again, it's that butterfly effect, like we're saying. It's like you're going through these stages in your life, and instead of just you know, when you're going in and you're reflecting in this is what you will notice. When you're disconnected, you don't know if this is your left arm or your right arm, and you're disconnected, you're not going to go through any of that. You get up, you go to work, you come home, you eat, you're in a shit relationship, you're still in the same place, then you go to bed, then you get up, you go to work, you hate your job, you hate everybody, you don't like everybody, you get up, you go to work, it carries on, then you die. That's it. How many people do you know that are living that life? You know, that's it. Walking corpses, I call it. Because you're so disconnected. How many people I hear say to me, I don't like my job, I don't like my partner, I don't like this, but I've been doing it for 25 years, there's no point, this doesn't matter, I'm in it now. What do you mean you're in it now? You're going to be in it for the next 25 years, then you die. That's it. And then do you know what happens if you believe? You do it all over again. I've done it once, I don't want to keep coming back. So it says in the next one, okay, you haven't got the next one, but just briefly, it says in the next one that, you know, which I love because it's like 500 BC, Patanjali says in the next sutra, which means thread, one leads to another, it says, he's telling you, my command is stop identifying with your mind. If you cease to do that, then you will dwell in your true splendor. Then you will become a butterfly. And then in the one after that, he goes, but you know what? Now and again, you're going to identify with it. So he knows this is our pattern. This is our nature. But what you'll learn, you will have the tools that when you start to do that, you will be able to bring yourself back. Breathe in, let, breathe out, go. You'll see your mind going that way, and then you'll go, I'll come back. Now, that doesn't mean, do I look like a doormat? No. So do you think that if something is annoying me, do you think that I would tell them? If I'm really annoyed, I'll go out for a walk in good weather and good light. I'll go out for a walk, I'll go upstairs, I'll go away, I might not even tell that person for even a week. And I've really got together in my mind what I want to say and how I want to say it. Or I may phone a friend and have a cry. You know? And let it out. And reflect. Because we're all going through stages. So, you know, I've obviously, you know, looking after my mum as well. I'm having my eye, you know, issues. And then my mum fell over last night. I was out at 10:30 helping my mum up. Yes, again, you know, and so you've got all of that, the outside world coming in. How do you manage to balance all that? If you just keep hanging around with negative people, what happens? You've become negative. Yeah? But it is up to you if you take the present from them. You know, I've said before that my mum suffers with depression very badly. Yeah? She's really not very good at the moment. Now, again, you can be round that. Hi, Mum, how's your day today? Well, same as yesterday. Now, you can accept that, or you do what I do, and I smile. It's up to you. You can take it, you can absorb it, right? And I smile, and I go, you know, no need. And she goes, what? There's no need, Mum. No need, look, I'm here. I said, I've just asked the lady down the road if she wants me to help her with her bags. She has nobody. No need, Mum. You've got me. And then she'll think about it. So you're changing the way that even other people think by you leading by example. You're writing your chapter every single day. You have to plant them seeds to change it. Otherwise, you're just identifying with the Vrittis. And then they want to take you to some really dark places. So all the movements of the mind, Patanjali's lists in the first chapter. He gives you a list of all the ways that the mind keeps sluggish, lazy, dull, and then he gives a list of all the diseases that can happen when you keep identifying with these thoughts in your mind. So he tells you how in your mind that you keep going back over and over and over certain things, and in the end that can cause illnesses. Eczema, asthma, psoriasis, all these things. And the funny thing is that he actually tells you why this happens. So it's really showing you, if you keep identifying with your mind, this is what's going to happen. It keeps taking you down that unfirm ground because you're not grounded. It also says in the first chapter, again, this will only happen through practice. Yeah? You will only be able to cease identifying with your fluctuations of your mind through regular practice. Doesn't happen overnight. So you keep changing the seeds. So you could do it through affirmation as well. You know, get up, today's going to be a really good day. Today's going to be a really good day. Now, you may then halfway through the day wander off and then bring it back again. Today's going to be a really good day. Because you could be affected by the outside world. So then you cease to stop identifying with that and bring yourself back. If you're ceasing to identify with the mind stuff, then you're controlling your mind. So what they say is the seer sees the seen. So think about that for a moment. The seer sees the seen. So your soul, who you truly are in there, is looking at the scene. So this is the scene. So you'll then learn to calm the mind down so you can observe the scene. Has anybody reacted in a way and then a minute or a year later go, why the hell did I act like that? Because you didn't observe the scene. You let the mind stuff take over and you didn't observe. So when you calm the mind, you really know who you are. So I think it's something like, you know, I mean, I'm just saying roughly, I'm no counsellor, but, you know, you're being told all your early life what to think, how to act, yeah? And then you're spending the next 25 years to work out who you are. Yeah? So it's because your mind is created by your parents and then other people you surround yourself with is all up there in your mind. So this is when you calm that down, you start to work out who you are. Because you're being influenced. You know, you're little, it's like, oh, we're going to take you football, then we're going to take you rugby, or then we're going to take you here, and then you're going to take you there, and then you'll pick the school for them, and then you do all this. You know, you're given your packed lunch or your school dinners, you're told what you eat. You know, that's a child's life, yeah? And then you become this adult, and then you're trying to work out who you are because you've got all this stuff. Yeah? You know, I was really scared. I don't know if you've heard this, but I was really scared about being lost. I was really scared about being lost. Have you heard this? No. Okay, so I was really panicky about getting lost, and I used to do a lot of the things like take the same route when I used to drive all them years ago, and I would take the same route. I wouldn't just put the sat nav on and go for it. Oh my God, I wouldn't, right? It took me years to work out. They wasn't even my fear. They're my mum's. It's my mum's fear. I've never been lost. You know, it's not even my anxiety. It's hers. So apparently, you know, my mum, I was about 4 years old, and my mum had a nervous breakdown, right, in the middle of the street. So she couldn't find her way home. So she's dragging me through the streets with her, lost. It's not my fear. So it might be something really simple, like your parent is petrified of spiders, and then you're doing that in front of, you know, they're doing it in front of you, and then you become really petrified of a spider. You never was. You know, another picture to bring in your mind quickly is, look, imagine you've got a brand new car. Pick any car you want to. Go on. Money's no objects. Yeah? And then you drive in your car and you stop off at your parents' house. You take a few black bags or any coloured bags from them. You put them in your brand new car. You drive a bit further. You go around your friends' houses. You take a few bags from them. You put it in your car. You drive on, a couple of more relationships. Now your car's full. None of it was your rubbish. What do you got to do? Dump it. So I asked you, who are you? And that's when he says, in number 3, then the seer dwells in its own true splendour. Now, I was told by quite a few people that I would never make it as a yoga teacher. Isn't that great? But there was something inside me that I just couldn't let go of. Just kept coming back up and up and up. I really want to do this. That's what I mean. Against everything, you're standing in your own true splendour. What you really want to do, who you really are.